What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, so it's CassMac chat day. Let me share this real quick. And hopefully, wait. Let's see. We have a little bit more to talk about. And knowing Alex Anthopoulos, I'll get off of this chat and he'll do something significant, but that's the world of it. All right, so all right. There we go. That's done. Hopefully, going with the glasses today. Just had a lot of stuff going on today, so just in case anyone says anything, we're all glammed up in terms of that. But the Braves made a couple of significant moves last week, adding Raisel Iglesias back on a 1-year, $16 million deal. And I know myself included were saying that it was a little steep. I was hoping for 12 to 14 for Raisel, but there's no bad 1-year deals. B, that's been his number since being in a Braves uniform with when we acquired the contract from the Angels. I believe it was 16 per year. So it's not anything new in that regard. I know he struggled. What's up? Thanks for hanging. I know he struggled last year at the beginning in pockets, but he's had a 2.35 career ERA with the Braves. Obviously, the bigger, probably more intriguing move is the addition of Mauricio Dubon, the Gold Glover, 2-time Gold Glover utility, or that was his role with the Astros. And I would actually prefer him to stay in the utility role, but I also don't know if adding Ha-Seong Kim back on a 3-year 50 or something would make you marketably better instead of maybe just using Mauricio Dubon as your starting shortstop at 6.1 and then going for a flashier DH. I'm not sure, honestly, but I'm not going to scoff at having Ha-Seong Kim back because he was a nice shot in the arm. Definitely at least gave you more of a chance at the plate, more of a feeling that something good was going to happen instead of Nick Allen, who is very, very offensively challenged. We were able to trade Nick Allen to the Astros in the Dubon deal. I really like Dubon as a utility, and I think if we strap him to the shortstop position, that would hinder the abilities, but also, again, the flashier DH like a Kyle Schwarber doesn't make me mad either. I think I just have to see the other moves, and if we want to go all the in and get Bo Bichette, but I think Bo Bichette's moving to second base very soon anyway. So I don't know how that works either. It's kind of kind of a weird thing, but a nice start because we haven't had a utility or a versatile guy like that, and I've been clamoring for it for a while. Especially with Ozzy's injuries and him being able to maybe slow play the wrist a little bit more, so he's not working uphill like he was last year. I think the versatility just gives you more options, and maybe the Braves are going back to that a little bit more. We haven't had a utility type player that we've used effectively since Martin Prado or Omar Infante, so that's a thought. I mean, it's definitely, there's still a lot to be decided for the Braves, but I think those are good starts. I think there's still, you've got to have some more significant moves in the bullpen, especially again with Joe Jimenez uncertainty with his knee. If you're going Raisel Iglesias, I feel like the Aaron Bummer contract is one that's hindering it a little bit because that's 9.5. I believe that's his option this year is 9.5, which is good for Bummer. But if we utilize him like we did the last couple of years, well, specifically last year, but the last couple of years, I don't think that's a good price for the Braves. But I think there's still going to be some movement in the bullpen. And the only other significant bullpen piece that has gone anywhere was Phil Maton. 2 years. I don't know the figures with the Cubs for some reason. I never saw them. That would have been a nice middle relief piece. And the Braves also, even though we tendered contracts to guys like Jose Suarez, the lefty, who had a really good start against the Nationals, seven innings, 9 Ks in that doubleheader. We tendered him a contract, and we tendered Joey Wentz a contract. We saw some good moments from them, but I don't know where it fits necessarily yet because they don't have any minor league options, so they either make the roster as a long man or a lefty specialist-ish, or multi-inning, but it doesn't exactly give you the warm and fuzzies with the bullpen, considering Tyler Kinley and Pierce Johnson aren't back as of yet. Obviously, that could change too, but we declined their options. And we added Joel Payamps back to the bullpen at a 1-year, $2.25. And the right-hander had some, I mean, he only had a couple of appearances with the Braves, but 96, 97 with that devastating slider, it's definitely something to work with. And he was amazing in 2023, all-star type stuff. And 2024 was good too. 2025 was just kind of just really bad for him on a majority of levels. But he could really be a significant steal to our bullpen. Plus, again, there's no bad 1-year deals unless you're talking about Cole Hamels, who pitched 2 3 2/3 on $18 million with the Braves his last year. But typically and variably, there's no bad 1-year deals. But I think, again, the bullpen uncertainty doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies. And I think there's still possibilities with the starting rotation, adding to that, plus and or moving Grant Holmes and Ronaldo Lopez. They have experience in the pen there. So there's still a lot of pieces and viability to and things to figure out for sure when it comes to the Braves off season and different things. But I think because we've already been more active than we were last year, I think there is definitely more moves down the pipeline, considering only 2 of the top 50 free agents have signed or what off the board, and it's already November 25th. Obviously, there's been more action on the trade market as Marcus Semien was traded to the Mets for Brandon Nimmo. And this is just a strange 1-for-1. I'm happy as a Braves fan because Brandon Nimmo kind of did a number on the Braves. One with his walk to first base, or run to first base, as it were, and a lot of damage with the bat and glove in bigger situations. And Marcus Semien, 35, really good glove, really good clubhouse guy, and I think he will bounce back, I believe, but I think he's on the back nine of his career, so I don't know if the struggles of the last 2 years offensively will that become a trend, or will he be back to his more consistent play? I'm not sure. I think Brandon Nimmo, even though he had neck issues and defensive issues in the outfield, I think he was a really solid player for the Mets, and he was the longest tenured Met. So it was a little weird, but I think the Rangers did well, and I think the Mets did well for what they were looking for, kind of a shakeup and better defense at second base. You're definitely getting that. I just think with all the money that was involved, it does open up for the Mets to go after one of the bigger fish in the outfield or starting pitching if you're going trade. But it's one of those where I think it could be a win-win for both sides, but it also could just be a move and it play out in good ways and bad ways kind of thing. We'll have to wait and see, but Brandon Nimmo will be playing right field for the Rangers, and his willingness to waive his no trade clause and play with Jacob deGrom again, maybe that has some some significance. And then the other big move today was the Boston Red Sox acquiring Sonny Gray, an option that has been rumored for the Braves forever, going to Boston for Richard Fitz, a bullpen hybrid pitcher and Boston's number 5 prospect. And I believe St. Louis is sending $20 million to the Boston Red Sox to offset the cost a little bit, but with the way they reworked they reworked the contract for Sonny Gray, it's basically a 1-year, $45 million contract for Sonny Gray to pitch in Boston. And I think Sonny Gray is an amazing pitcher for a 2-3. I don't think he's an ace anymore. Not that they need one, but I think it's a good move for Boston, but I don't know in terms of value. I don't know if they got to steal necessarily, because the number 5 prospect is not nothing, and a good hybrid pitcher that did some good things for Boston. So I think St. Louis did well, and I think Boston addressed the need, but I feel like they still need more pitching wise. So I don't think it was a little more hefty than I was thinking for Sonny Gray, who is getting longer in the tooth a little bit, and changing the contract and the language like that is again strange, but not necessarily terrible. I don't know. I mean, there's been some wild, wacky trades already, and uh, obviously not a lot has happened on the free agent market yet. But I think the Braves are still in a pretty good spot. I mean, Grant Holmes and Spencer Swellenbach are recovering better than we thought at this point in the offseason. So that is a really, really good thing with that. And if you add to the starting rotation, say a Dylan Cease or unlikely as Scott Boras, even though we dipped our toe in the Scott Boras waters with Hal Sung Kim, of course. And that still could be a reunion. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see there. But I think the Braves are still in a really good spot. The one move or reunion I don't want to see, just because I think it's run its course, is the Marcell Ozuna of it all. I just think we could do better, and I know Marcell was dealing with hip stuff and things of that nature, but he didn't waive his no trade clause 3 times, and I guess I know that's his right, but I think that I don't know. A guy in his position, if he had a chance to chase a ring, I would have at the age that he is, and I think he kind of hindered what the Braves could do trade deadline wise and things of that nature. So I think I just want some other option than that. Obviously, the Sean Murphy injury recovery and probably not being ready at the beginning of the season. We won't know more until January, I believe. But so I think that throws a wrench into some things, and I think there's still a lot of pieces to fall into place, but you've still got an amazing core, and I think you've already created a lot more depth and versatility possibilities and options that we haven't had in years past. So I think that part I'm very, very cool with. And again, there are so many dominoes to still fall, and probably some guys and moves and different things that we are not even okay. No, well, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking or there, but I think the options and different things that we've created for ourselves already, even though the Piamps move and some things are the arbitration eligible and all that stuff seems insignificant, and it might be, but it also might be steals in the grand scheme of things. But I'm just making sure there's no other moves right now. Nope. But it's been a pretty quiet. I mean, we went in some sporadic trades here or there, but I expected to pick up after Thanksgiving, and obviously the winter meetings are a big to do. So hopefully we'll get some more action that way and some more pieces to fall into place, not only for the Braves but for the rest of Major League Baseball, because the off seasons seem to get longer and longer and slower and slower. But realities are what realities are. But I don't really have anything else. Unless you guys do. But as always, go Braves. Champions forever. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys. See y'all next Tuesday. Hopefully, there'll be a lot more action to break down, and I'll have it all covered. But hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys. Nobody really showed up.